little love.
Ted is coming again. No, literally, that's what the poster literally was. It's a picture of Ted, and he's coming. I mean, just like how the first movie he said Ted was coming, and it's got this image of Ted looking, supposed to be looking at the computer screen, but looking very creepily into your soul. But hey, it's Ted. We'll allow it. But welcome to Time About the Movies, everybody. Today we are wrapping up June 2015, looking at the 3 films of June 26, 2015. The biggest of the new releases of them are Ted 2. Newlywed couple Ted and Tammy Lynn want to have a baby, but in order to qualify to be a parent, Ted will have to prove he's a person in a court of law. So it's kind of a legal movie in general, but it is what you expect. If you love the first movie, you're gonna probably really enjoy the hell out of this one too. Because I did enjoy the first Ted film a lot. I mean, I really loved the hell out of that movie. I still have my Ted plush that I showed off when I did the first review, and now's the perfect time to do this because we've got the Ted series on Peacock right now, which has been a big hit. Unfortunately, that's coming to an end because the budgets on that are getting bigger and bigger, as Seth MacFarlane said. But we're still getting an animated series in the process, so Ted's not going away anytime soon. And really, how can you not love a guy like this? I mean, I was excited for this movie, and I still enjoyed this movie. I liked it just as much as I liked the first film. There are still a lot of really funny elements I liked about this movie that did make me laugh really hard. Stupid comedy at its best. Good stupid comedy. It's the kind where you know it's stupid, but it still manages to get a good laugh out of you. Like that Tom Brady bit. Like, that's funny stuff right there. I like the fact that Tom Brady has a sense of humor to himself in general. Like, when he's off the football field, when he's not being a torture to everyone he's ever played, including my Steelers, he's alright. He can be a decent entertainer in general here. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty fun overall. But let's start with some of the complaints that I had about the film in general. And one is the plot, which kind of takes a lot of elements from Family Guy. Several parts take from different episodes. The main plot is basically the same one, where Brian was trying to be seen as a human being in a court of law. That was way back in season 1, back in '99. There's a lot of cutaway gags that make it the bit into the movie. Like, there's parts where they're literally taking cutaway gags from other things. Like, one of the big ones was, Ted's doing his routine of John Candy's mess around thing from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which they did that on Family Guy in the Star Wars special. I think it was the last one they did. But yeah, you can definitely see a lot of that stuff right out of the get-go. But to the movie's credit, it does work with Ted. They even take quotes from episodes and use them here. Like, there's a bit where Mark Wahlberg, Amanda Seyfried, and Ted come across a marijuana garden, and Seyfried says, no words, should have sent a poet, like the same one that Peter said when Y2K happened and his family goes to find the Twinkie factory. He's literally saying the same thing, although that line in and of itself is taken from Contact. So yeah, it takes a lot of moments from Family Guy, but the first movie did that too. But they were very few and far between, and that movie was clever enough to not let it get in the way of the actual story. Here, it seems to be a little bit more of it here, and it's out of the open here, but I mean, it never really, this is more of a nitpicky thing with me. One of my real biggest problems of the movie in general is it does the Shrek the Third route, where we take a villain from the last movie and make him the main villain again in this movie. I mean, Giovanni Ribisi is back as Donnie, and he was one of the big characters I really did not like. I thought he was kind of a pointless villain, and wouldn't you know it, he's back in this movie too, and while he's not as obnoxious as annoying as he was in the first film, you really could have done it without him in general. But surprisingly, my biggest complaint about this whole thing is, it's not even with the movie itself, but just the weird product placement I have ever seen. This whole subplot with Hasbro. There's a part in the movie where Donnie's hired as a janitor and offers an idea to take Ted, pending on whether he loses the case, and study him in hopes of discovering the secret to creating more living teddy bears, to the head of Hasbro, played in the movie by John Carroll Lynch, a great character actor. Now, here's a perfectly logistical question here. Why would Hasbro attach their name to this? I mean, let's think about this. Hasbro gives them the rights to use their name and brand. You see their logo on the building. You see the My Little Pony and Transformers characters throughout the film. But imagine if the execs at Hasbro saw this movie and saw the part where they're literally torturing Ted by having him take down with Donnie sticking a knife in his crotch. I can't imagine what the CEO of Hasbro was probably thinking to themselves. It's like, what are we thinking attaching our names to this? Now, let's be fair to Hasbro. This is not as bad as, SeaWorld going to, the producers of Jaws 3D going to SeaWorld and says, hey, we want to do a movie where our killer shark is going to rampage throughout your theme park. I hope that's okay with you. And someone in SeaWorld's just like, yeah, man, you're good to go. You're popular still. Although the CEO of the person at SeaWorld who probably greenlit that probably was smoking a lot of drugs back then, because it was the 80s. It was the drug generation. But I digress. I mean, there's also another reasoning behind why Hasbro put money to. I don't know why. Maybe there was another reason why Hasbro put money to the name attached to this. Maybe they were going to put out some. I lost my train of thought there for a second. Some Ted toys. What? I can't believe I completely forgot about that. But yeah, it seems like a harsh move from Hasbro to put their name on a thing. It shows their company is kind of evil. It's kind of like when Pepsi had product placement in a heavily violent action movie in Cobra. But I mean, then again, back in the 80s, I mean, pretty much anybody could put anything attaching to their name to it. I mean, Pepsi put their name to the Garbage Pail Kids movie, for Christ's sake. But yeah, those are some of the big complaints I had with the movie. But overall, a lot of this I did really like. The chemistry between Mark Wahlberg and Seth MacFarlane is still there as John and Ted. They do work off each other very well. It's still really funny. I really liked Amanda Seyfried. I thought she was a great love interest and foil to these guys in general here. And even though I liked Mila Kunis in the first film, and I kind of feel bad she got kind of screwed over in this, kind of like her character Meg on Family Guy does every week, but I thought she was better. I did think she was a little bit better. I mean, I like Mila Kunis, but Amanda Seyfried I thought was really, really funny in this movie. She had a lot of really good one-liners, and she worked very well with Ted and John. I thought they all worked against each other very well. A lot of the other characters in here are really good too. You got Morgan Freeman playing a lawyer who's willing to take on Ted's case. John Slattery has a good brief role in here. Dennis Haysbert, as I mentioned, Tom Brady, Jay Leno has some brief bits of comedy that work. Patrick Warburton and Michael Dorn are great in this. Liam Neeson has this really bizarre but still funny bit where, Ted's working at the supermarket and Liam Neeson comes in, with this box of Trix cereal, and he's just like, this says Trix are for kids. And he's completely serious. And this is what makes Liam Neeson such a great guy when it comes to, straightforward comedy. Because, like with Leslie Nielsen in the Naked Gun movies, he's the straight man. And he plays this so seriously, and it just works to a T. That whole bit has a nice payoff at the end of the movie. It's just like, man, if you watch that movie, you could see that this guy was prepared to play the son of Frank Drebin in the recent Naked Gun movie. But other than that, the comedy in here really is very good. Yeah, a lot of it can be predictable, but there's still a lot of funny stuff to watch in this. There's a couple of bits that don't really work. You got a bit where Ted's trying to hide from Donnie in the sea of toy bears that literally looks like him, and you can see where it's going a mile away, but to its credit, it does have a really good, funny payoff that also works as a callback to the first movie, and somehow incorporates the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles costumes from the 90s in there. The good ones, not the god-awful Ninja Turtles 3 ones, but in fact, a lot of the callbacks from the first movie get a nice, funny payoff in here. And yeah, while some of the elements of comedy are taken straight from Family Guy, most of them do work in the live-action setting. And at 2 hours long, it never really feels like you're sitting there for the longest time. I mean, there wasn't any part where I felt like they could have shortened it or taken it out to move the story along, except for the stuff I mentioned before. And here's the thing with Seth MacFarlane in general. I thought back then he got a lot of unnecessary backlash against him. He still kind of gets it today, but not as much as back in the day. The guy really is a talented entertainer. He's a guy that not only is a great animator, and he's a great actor, but he's a damn good musician, too. You listen to some of his music, his albums that he's done, I mean, they're incredible to listen to. I mean, he's done more than enough to prove his ability that brings us a lot of great stuff of him. I mean, granted, A Million Ways to Die in the West wasn't the best ever, but it was still a fun movie overall. I mean, he's been behind some stuff that hasn't been that great. Border Town, which came out a year later, was pretty bad. And not to mention the Good Times reboot that he produced, but he produced that. I mean, you could put anybody's name attached to it, but just the whole idea of an animated Good Times reboot, looking with the way that played out, it's just terrible. But again, who hasn't had a bad project under their belt? Some of the greatest filmmakers of all time had bad movies under their belt. Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, some of the great directors we know in the business. I mean, this is not new stuff here, and I really enjoyed the hell out of Ted 2. I really think it is a movie that is as good as the first film. It has a lot of problems, yes, but there are comedy bits that do work. The story is not perfect, but it's not a perfect movie. It's a fun summer sequel. It's the type of sequel that you wait for in the summertime to get your butts in theaters to go and see and have a good time laughing about it. It's hard to come across a good R-rated comedy sequels nowadays. 22 Jump Street, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Harold and Kumar 3, American Pies 2 and 3, everything else, Hangovers 2 and 3, Horror Bosses 2, Harold and Kumar 2, Beverly Hills Cop 3, American Reunion. They're just not good movies. But this, I'm so relieved to have a comedy sequel that actually ended up making it work in the end. I mean, it did try to do something different, and for the most part, it did pay off, and a lot of it does work. If you like the first Ted movie, you will enjoy the hell out of this one. I highly recommend seeing this. If you like the first movie, or even saw the TV series and have never seen the movies before, watch it. It's really, really good stuff. It's really funny stuff. I kind of wish Seth MacFarlane would go back to making movies again. He hasn't really done a whole lot of directing films. He's done a couple of movies, like where he's done voices, like the Sing films, and I think he did something else. I can't remember what it was, but he's gone back to mostly doing television stuff. But I mean, yeah, I really like him a lot. I think he's a great entertainer, and the Ted franchise overall is probably his best work in general. I mean, yeah, American Dad comes close, and he's done pretty good with the Orville as well. And he also did Cosmos, too. He has a lot of good stuff under his belt. I mean, the guy is a great entertainer, and I think the Ted franchise shows how good this guy can really be. So, there you go. That's my thoughts on Ted. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at another movie featuring another animal lead in it. This is the war dog drama, if you want to call it that, Max.
Dogs are pretty good judges of character.
Max, rated PG, in theaters June 26th.
So I can kind of get a glimpse from the trailer here. When Kyle Wincott is killed in the war, his war dog Max suffers from stress. Max is to be put down because he has trouble listening to anyone else until he meets Justin, Kyle's brother. Justin adopts and saves Max, then both of their lives will never be the same again. Or it could be the same again because you kind of seen this type of film before, and its intentions are good. It's not a movie where it's bad because, oh, it's a movie that's trying to be something completely ridiculous or something that's just so forced into you. It's a movie that's okay. That's probably the best way to describe the film. It's just simply an okay movie. But you can look at it and see that, yeah, it is trying to get a little bit of tugging at your heartstrings a little too much. And, of course, you don't want to see anything bad to happen to this dog in general. But at the same time, they really don't do anything new or different that we haven't seen done in other projects like this. MGM and New Line would make another movie called Dog with Channing Tatum that would come out 7 years later, which I think is actually a much better movie than this one is. I mean, it's not a bad movie. I want to put that out there. This is not a bad film. But yeah, them saying that it does kind of tug at your heartstrings a little too much, I can kind of agree with that. I mean, it is a film where it is just kind of like, yeah, I get what they're trying to do here, but yeah, you can also look at it and see that they're trying a little too hard on the emotional manipulativeness, but like I said, it's not bad in general. It's just a standard movie in general. It's a film where it's just kind of like, it's alright. It's nothing too amazing, nothing too spectacular, but it delivers on what it promises. If you're looking for something that's outside of if you've seen all the other big family films this summer and you're looking for another one to take the kids to, I think this one will do just fine. But yeah, it's nothing on the level of something like a Marley and Me, or, some other dog movies of this kind, like Beethoven. I think it's just okay of a film. Nothing too amazing, nothing too spectacular. It is what it is, so. With that said, let's move on to our last movie that we have here, Samuel L. Jackson starring in Big Game.
Cinemas May 7th.
I'm really surprised the people who made this movie have not gone on to direct actual big-budget action movies here in the States, but maybe that's for the best. Maybe this nice throwback to 80s, 90s action films of this type, maybe this is the way it should be. Maybe this is the way to do it. But in the film, you follow a 13-year-old boy named Askari, played by Omni Tamila. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, then it's probably just the norm here, but in his efforts to protect the President of the United States, played by Samuel L. Jackson, from terrorists who shot down Air Force One. You also have a cast that includes Ray Stevenson, Victor Garber, Ted Levine, Felicity Huffman, and Jim Broadbent. So this is a film that's kind of came out of nowhere. It's a movie that, yeah, you can tell that it's clearly made outside of the U.S. It's actually a Finnish film, also with a little bit of the UK and Germany involved in here. And like I said, man, it's a movie where it really does work simply because of the fact that it does feel like these old school 80s, 90s action movies we all grew up with when I was a little kid watching Die Hard for the first time, Passenger 57, these movies like Under Siege, like, you get the idea. Like, these are movies that we grew up watching, stuff we saw later on as we were getting more into movies, like, for me, example, like seeing the Rambo movies, the Schwarzenegger films of the 80s, but, yeah, it's a film that is very fun, over the top, and really, it is just a ton of fun. I'm starting to realize that, yeah, I completely have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, because this guy has gone on to direct some action movies besides this one. I thought he kind of came and went, but no, I did not realize that this was the same director that did the Sisu movies. I haven't seen the Sisu films, but everyone keeps telling me I should check those ones out. But hey, after watching Big Game, that's probably an option. I mean, I should see these films, but yeah, I'm stupid for not thinking that this was the same director that did that. But and speaking of Rambo, guess what film he's working on now? The John Rambo prequel, the prequel to First Blood. But yeah, I don't know how good that's going to be. But this film overall, though, back to this film, because I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. This is a fun movie. This is a really solid, entertaining film with Samuel L. Jackson being as badass as he could be. This kid, Omni Tamila, does a very good job playing alongside with him. It's a really good, it's a really fun film. It's a relatively short movie, too, honestly. It's a film where, it is cut down to about an hour and a half long. So it's not a long movie by any means necessary. It's not a 2-hour, splatterfest and all that type of stuff. It's a film that knows how to get in, how to get out, and leave you entertained by what you just saw at the end of it. It's a really fun movie. It's a really solid, entertaining film, and yeah, I'm completely stupid for thinking that this director has not done anything of noteworthy since then. But yeah, I got to get around to seeing the Sisu movies. I've been saying I wanted to do it for the longest time, but it just has not gotten around to it. But soon I hopefully will do it. So, but anyway, that's all I got to say for you. That is a Big Game. And thus, with all that said, we wrap up another episode of Time About the Movies, and the next time we meet, we'll jump into the middle of 2015, 4th of July weekend. We've got 3 movies to take a look at, including the latest Terminator film, Terminator Genisys, with Arnold Schwarzenegger returning as the Terminator, and this time bringing along Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones, Jai Courtney, and Joel Edgerton? No, not Joel Edgerton. Who's Jason Clarke? I'm thinking the wrong person. Jason Clarke in this, in a movie that you think would be pretty good, but yeah, this is where the Terminator franchise really starts to take its inevitable tumble. I mean, they starting with this film, they completely just butchered whatever they had. Like, do you think Terminator Salvation is the one that started the downfall? No, this one here was the one that started the downfall. And then we'll take a look at Steven Soderbergh's sequel to Magic Mike XXL, which I'm just realizing he did not direct this movie. He did direct the 3rd film, but this was not directed by him. This is the only one not directed by him. But, Magic Mike was a big success 3 years ago, just like Ted was. And maybe Ted didn't deliver what it promised to people with the sequel, so could Magic Mike XXL do the same thing? Do something different, I should say. Well, we'll find out. But we'll also take a look at the documentary about Amy Winehouse. Amy, we'll take a look at that. The Oscar winner for Best Documentary that year, and rightfully so. But we are going to head on out of here, and we'll touch on those films tomorrow. With all that said, though, thank you so much for watching this, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please go ahead and do me the honors of hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button. Also, don't forget to check out our playlist, and don't forget to check out the previous episode we did. With all that said, whether it's in the past, the present, or the future, I will see you at the movies. Take care.